Alexa, activate balcony central light.
Okay.
Guys, please check your audio and video settings, please. Yes, boss. Class content, Spring here, 616, core module, by date, NTSP BMS. 616, configuring Java class as Spring Boot. Java class as Spring Boot. So today our topic is how to configure Java class as Spring Boot. Super guys. First of all, tell me what is Spring Boot? Everyone, what is Spring Boot? Tell me. Okay. What is Spring Boot? Everyone, please talk to me. The Java class whose object is created and managed by Spring container, right? The Java class whose object is created and managed by Spring container. Got it? Super guys. How to configure Java class as Spring Boot. Listen. Yeah, passing details are instructions to the underlying server or container or framework is called configuration. Super. Yeah. Okay. To configure Java class as Spring Boot, we can use either bean tag or component annotation. Okay. Use bean tag while developing Spring applications using XML driven configurations. Use bean tag while developing Spring application using what? XML driven configurations. Got it, guys? Super. Next, use component annotation. Use component annotation. Okay. To configure component annotation. Okay, while developing Spring applications using XML plus annotation driven configurations. Next, B, using 100% code driven configuration. In all places, XML. Okay, next, using Spring. In all the three places, we can take the support of @complement. I hope you are understanding my statement. Super. Okay, guys. Now listen. Okay. Configure. Suppose I have a wish message generator class. Right? Okay. com.mt.sbeans and a package name. Don't think much. It's just a package name. It can be anything. It can be anything. Every Java class generally we take in one or other package na boss. Package name. Okay. Under this package, we have a class called wish message generator. If not that, something else. Okay. Wish message generator. Wish message generator. Understanding my statement? Okay. So let us assume the class is looking like this. Wish message generator. Wish message generator dot Java. Okay. Package com.nt.sbeans. Com for commercial or company, NT for Naresh Technologies, SBeans means Spring Beans. SBeans means what, guys? Spring Beans. You can take your choice, 1 word, 2 words, 3 words in the package. Generally, a good programmer takes 3 words in the package. Understanding my statement? Super. Now tell me here, public class wish message generator. Public class wish message generator. Here some business methods will be there. Right now we are least to bother about what logic is there. This is my business. These are my business methods having business logic. One or other logic will be there. Okay. What is the business method? Based on the current hour of the day, it has to generate the wish message. Early morning, good morning. Okay. Afternoon, good afternoon. Evening, good evening. Late night, good night. Like this. For that one, some business methods are there. Super, guys. Tell me, guys. In XML driven configuration, to configure Java class as Spring Bean, use bean tag. Where, guys? In Spring Bean configuration file. What is the recommended name for Spring Bean configuration file, guys? What is the recommended name according to yesterday's class? Application context.xml. Right, boss? Application context.xml. Tell me. In application context.xml. In application context.xml. What is this? Spring Bean configuration file. CFZ means configuration. CFZ means configuration. Got it, guys? Super. What is this? Bean is the tag. ID. Bean ID. This ID becomes name of the object when container creates object for our Spring Bean. Okay, I can take any name as Bean ID. Spring Bean is identified with its Bean ID, right? Spring Bean is identified with its Bean ID. Admin, can you share backup videos? Any newcomers are there, boss? Any newcomers are there? At the end of the session, backup videos will be shared. You can happily continue in this batch without any hesitation. Please listen class with focus. At the end, I will spend some time for you and I will give backup videos also. WMG class is equal to com.nt.sbeans. What is there? Wish message generator. Right, guys? Wish message generator. This is a tag, attribute 1, its value, attribute 2, its value. So this is what, guys? Bean ID. Internally becomes Spring Bean class object name. Spring Bean class object name. Next, don't compare with any other technology. Focus with empty brain. Focus with fresh brain. Fully qualified Java class. Fully qualified Java class means what? XML driven configuration means all instructions will be given to Spring Container using XML file. That is called XML driven configuration. Fully qualified Java class. What do you mean by that? Package name plus class name, right? Okay. Fully qualified Java class that we want to configure as Spring Boot. That you want to configure as Spring Boot. Super, guys. Now listen. Every Spring Bean is identified with its bean ID. With its bean ID. Because the Spring containers are called IOC containers, na boss. Okay, newcomers, when you watch backup videos, you will get clarity on all these terminologies. The Spring IOC container uses the bean ID as the reference variable name. Reference variable name. Reference variable name is nothing but object name, na boss. While creating Spring Bean class object. While creating Spring Bean class object. While creating simply the Spring Bean class object. Guys, I hope you convinced, my dear. Super. Tell me, guys, how does it create object? How does it create object? This is a Spring container which is running on the top of JRE JVM. Right, boss. JRE JVM. Okay. JRE JVM. What is this? Spring's IOC container. Okay. I request everyone one thing. If you have little bit of Spring knowledge, keep that aside and hand over your empty brain so that I can inject right subject in right order. I request everyone to do that one. Okay. Super. Tell me here, what is this? Wish message generator object. What object, guys? Wish message generator class object. Message generator class object. Okay. So when reference variable is created, having what name, guys? WMG. Okay. This WMG points to whom, guys? Wish message generator class object or not? Tell me, guys. This class is called Spring Bean. This object is called Spring Bean. The Java class whose object is created and managed by Spring container is called Spring Bean. This class becomes Spring Bean when this object is created and managed by Spring container. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Technically, when object is created, then that class and that class related object is called as what? Spring Bean. I hope you are understanding. So, what is ID has become what? Object name or not? ID has become object name as not. Am I going to do this work or Spring container will take care of this job? By seeing these XML entries, by seeing entries in XML file, Spring container only loads the class. Spring container only creates the object. Spring container only manages the object. Spring container only destroys the object if needed. Destroys the object if needed. I hope you are understanding my statement, guys. Okay. In Spring's IOC container. Why Spring container is called IOC container? Everyone tell me. Why Spring container is called IOC container? Are we doing every operation or every operation is taken care by container? Every operation is taken care by container. So that means all operations, all controls are taken away from programmer and under the are into the hands of a Spring container. So it is a reverse of regular activities. It's a reverse of regular control. That's why Spring containers are called IOC containers or not. Okay. Spring's IOC container. In Spring IOC container, Spring Bean is identified. Spring Bean is not identified with its class name. Okay. It is always identified with its package. It is always identified with its package. Sorry. With its bean ID. Bean ID. What is bean ID? Everyone got the clarity, guys? Yeah, this statement in XML driven configuration. Super. In annotation driven configuration. Annotation driven configurations. Suppose you decided not to work with XML. You decided to work with annotation. And you know that annotations are alternate for XML. Why? What's the problem with XML? You tell me. About Java code, we write in a separate XML file. Take this class as Spring Bean. About Java code, if we give instruction in XML in Java code itself, it would be easy now, boss. Regarding Java class, somewhere in separate XML file, you are giving additional information. This class should be taken as a Spring Bean. So you are unnecessarily involving one separate file now, boss. That to a different language file called XML file. Instead of that, if we give that instruction using Java statement in Java file itself, directly in the Java code itself, it would be easy for everyone now, boss. Environment becomes lightweight or not. Performance advantage will be there or not there. Performance advantage there or not there. Okay, simple theory, guys. In your school, 1,000 people are there. Somehow, they elected you as a school leader. But that is written on the principal room blackboard. That is written only on the principal room blackboard. Okay. So, if anyone wants to recognize you as school people leader, SPL, they need to go and confirm in the principal room. Right now, boss? So that means you are a leader, but that information is there in your directly visible to people. No, that information is visible where somewhere in the other room, right? It's a tedious process for everyone to recognize you as a school people leader, SPL, or school leader. So it's a separate process for them or not. Instead of that, if school provides one badge, instead of that, if school provide one badge for your collar or for your shirt pocket, then it will be easy for everyone to recognize you as a school leader easily. Shoulder badge or pocket badge. Yes, na boss. Solar badge or so you go anywhere. You go to government office, boss. You go to government office. All people work in different seats, but we don't know who is what. We really know who is what and what is his name, because they don't carry badges, they don't carry designations. Yes, so we should ask peon, who is that person, who is manager, who is cashier, who is clerk, who is X, who is Y. So what is his name? We should find out about every person before meeting them or not. So that is a tedious process. And you have to unnecessarily disturb the peon every time. Who is that guy? What is his name? Yes or no? Na? But you go to any private office, you go to any corporate hospital, you go to any aeroplane business, every person will carry name and designation as a badge. Yes or no? Na? So by looking at the badge and designation, without taking someone's permission, we can identify who is what or not. Annotations also like that in Java. Before arrival of annotation, we don't have option. That's why we entertained XML. After arrival of annotation, we are preferring to work with only annotation. Are you with me, guys? In annotation-driven configuration, alternate to annotations are Java 5 features, not Java 8 features. Annotations are introduced in Java from Java 5 onwards. Alternate to XML configurations, right? We use @ component annotation to configure Java class as Spring Boot. Java class as Spring Boot. Take the same class, my dear. Take the same class, my dear. Get this. @ component WMG. @ component WMG. Okay. So by seeing this annotation was Spring container automatically loads this class, creates the object, and object with what name, guys? Bean ID. So this WMG will act as a bean ID or not? Okay, this is bean ID. Here also same story will take place or not? Here also same story will take place or not? So same effect will be there here. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Are you understanding my statement, guys? Are you with me? Right. Okay. So yesterday what I said, how many ways are there to develop the Spring application? How many approaches are there to develop the Spring application, my dear? 4 approaches are there, right? First, which approach we are going to learn? XML driven configuration or XML plus annotation driven configurations? XML plus annotation driven configuration. Okay. In annotation driven also, we have to pass the bean ID. Bean ID is required everywhere. If you don't give bean ID in both places, default bean ID will be used. That's a different discussion. We'll come to that later. Super, guys. Now listen. I think other day I have shared annotations video to everyone. In Dasra vacation, did I share annotation video to everyone? Shared or not shared? Okay. Mohit Chawla, Spring container is independent container. It is nowhere related to web server or application server. Is that clear? Please look at Spring container as independent container. It is nowhere related to. Come on. Web server and application server. We can create Spring container where guys, come on, I want reply. In a standalone application, in a Java method main, in a M1 method, M2 method, inside servlet component, inside JSP component, wherever you can create a Spring container. So that's why don't think about web servers, application server, other heavy software to create Spring containers. I think you are asking this question means you missed yesterday's class. Please don't miss the initial classes. If you miss the class, at least keep the habit of reading the document. Understanding my statement? Okay. In XML driven configurations, we write info about Java code to pass to underlying container or server or framework. Okay. By taking separate XML file using separate XML language. Array, extensible markup language, right? Separate language called XML. Separate language called XML. Okay. Which always give burden to programmer. Right now, boss? Burden to programmer and also degrades the performance of the application. Because loading XML, dealing with XML is a separate process or not, boss? Which always degrades the performance of the application. Yes. To overcome this problem, we can use annotation driven configuration. Okay, where information about Java code can be given to the underlying server or container or framework directly by using Java statements called annotations in Java code itself. Understanding my statement? So this reduces burden on the programmer. Okay, and improves the performance of the application. Improves the performance of the application. The people who have not watched annotations video, at least you got idea why annotations are picking up day to day, why XML is going down day to day. I hope you convinced the boss. You only observe this. Here, Java code, Java file separate, XML file separate to tell that take this Java class, make it as a Spring Bean, right? Two separate files are there, one .java file, one XML file. When it comes to annotation driven environment, where .java file is there, where class is there only we are configuring Java class as Spring Bean by using the support of annotation or not, by taking the support of annotation or not. Don't you think our life is simplified? Performance of the application will be improved because there is no need of dealing with separate XML file. But one problem is there with annotation. Tell me, guys, can we make any Java class as Spring Bean? Any normal Java class for which object can be created as Spring Bean? Or are there any restrictions? We can make any Java class as Spring Bean. Is there any rule Spring Bean should be predefined class? Any restriction Spring Bean should be user-defined class? No, na. We can take predefined class, user-defined class, third-party supplied class as Spring Bean. Okay, only the thing is, it should be a normal concrete class. It should not be abstract class or interface, right? Okay. I have a question. I decided to use only annotations. I decided to use only annotations. Everyone, please listen to me carefully. Okay. I don't want to use XML. I have a class called java.util.date, predefined class, given by JDK. I want to make it as a Spring Bean using annotation. Can I open source code of predefined class? Can I add annotation on the top of the class to make it as Spring Bean? Is it allowed? Is it allowed? Not allowed. Is it allowed? Not allowed. Understanding my statement? I have another class called calendar. I have another class called local date time. I have another class called array list. I want to see them as Spring Beans. Can I make them as Spring Beans through annotations? No. That's why for a few days, what they done, they have continued XML plus annotations. Wherever possibility is there to configure Java class as Spring Beans, you go with annotation. Wherever not possible, you go with what? You go with what? Come on, XML. Later, they found solution for this XML also. That I will introduce later. Super, guys. In thumb rules to remember while developing. Thumb rules to remember while developing. Okay, Spring application using XML plus annotation configurations. XML plus annotation driven configurations. Are you listening my statement, guys? Okay. Yeah. Don't worry, I will share annotation videos again. Everything will be shared today. Everything will be kept. Don't worry about that. Please concentrate. Okay. Annotation videos I share again. Entire notes I will give through Google Classroom today. Everything will be done. But focus. Thumb rules to remember while developing Spring application using XML plus annotation driven configuration. Okay, which is nothing but approach 2 na boss. Yesterday I have given how many approaches? 4 approaches. So this is approach 2. I said out of 4 approaches we are going to learn how many approaches? 3 approaches. What are those? XML plus annotation driven configurations. Next, everyone should focus on current topic. 100% code driven configurations. Next, Spring Boot, right? Everyone remembered or not remembered? Everyone remembered or not remembered? Approaches of developing Spring application. Okay. A. Using XML driven configurations. All instructions through XML. Using XML plus annotation driven configurations. Super. Using 100% code driven configurations. Next, using Spring Boot. Spring Boot also Spring plus na boss. Spring Boot also extension of Spring only. So Spring Boot application is always Spring plus plus. Right now I am dealing with the second one. Okay. Thumb rule number 1. First thumb rule, Rababu. Every thumb rule is very important. Number one. Configure user-defined Java classes as Spring Beans using @component annotation. @component annotation. @component annotation. And specify their package names. Specify their package names in Spring Bean configuration file for component scanning. Component scanning. Spring Bean scanning. Understanding my statement, guys? Using context colon. This is one tag. Component. NENT. I'll explain. Component scan. Base-package tags. Base-package tag. Listen, boss. In your project, 100 packages are there. So many classes are there. You don't want to see every user-defined class as Spring Bean. You want to see classes of few packages, that too having @component annotation as a Spring Bean. So it is better to mention those package names here now, boss. So that instead of searching every class, every package, it will go to that package, take all the classes of that package, searches for is there any @component annotation or not. If there, it makes only those classes as Spring Bean. It makes only those classes as Spring Bean. I hope you convinced with the second part of the statement, guys. Configure user-defined Java classes as Spring Beans using @component annotation and specify their package names in Spring Bean configuration file for component or Spring Bean scanning using context colon component scan pack. Say something, my dear. Okay, now listen, guys. A typical Spring project contains how many packages? 200 packages. Each package, let us assume 4 or 5 classes are there. Do you want to make every class as Spring Bean? No, no. There will be some helper classes. There will be some help supporting classes, right? So you want to see some classes of some packages as Spring Bean. If you mention those package names there, it will scan only those packages. In those packages, it will search for only those classes that are having @component annotation and makes only those classes as Spring Bean. So we are simplifying the work of Spring Container to make user-defined Java classes as Spring Beans or not? Come on, my dear. I want reply. Okay. Yeah, here you can mention multiple packages as comma separated list. You can mention multiple packages as comma separated list. So, multiple package names can be given as a comma separated list. Multiple package names can be given as comma separated list. Separated list. Got it? For every class, Bean ID will be there. Array. But don't worry about the context word. Array, this is the prefix of the tag, Rabab. This is the prefix of the tag. Don't worry about the prefix. Array, every tag belongs to one or other prefix. You know JSP? JSP colon use bean. JSP colon JSP colon forward. What is JSP there? Prefix or not? Same thing. Okay, here every tag belongs to one library and every library is identified with some prefix. Please don't put focus on this one. Go by overall meaning. When you are using class of package, we are mentioning package name dot class. Similarly, this tag belongs to one library and every library is identified with one prefix. It's like surname for tag. Your name, surname. Yes, na? Srinivas, some X. Okay. Mohit, some Y. You feel that one on. Here, what is my intention of giving this statement? It's just like configuring in web.xml, you can say. If you know Servlet kind of thing. The Spring container, please remember, the Spring container goes to specified packages of the project, and searches for component annotation classes. Okay. To make them as Spring Beans. Enjoyed my statement, guys? The Spring container goes to specified packages of the project. Okay, specified packages of the project. And project to scan the packages and sub packages. It also searches the sub packages. Okay. For searching, are you understanding my statement, guys? For searching, component annotation classes. For searching classes and to make them as Spring Beans. I think this statement is now clear. Okay. Mr. Bharat Dasozu, can you increase your focus? When you write @component on the top of every class, we give bean ID. Yes or no, na? Mr. Bharat Dasozu, your focus is here and there. You are not getting into subject. Suppose on 20 classes I have written @component. When I write @component on the top of every class, I will give separate bean ID or not? Please focus, my dear. Is clear? Is first thumb rule clear for everyone? Is first thumb rule clear for everyone? In online classes, focus is very, very important. I listen 50%, I will think parallelly on next topic, not going to work out. Listen 100%, then think about next topic. Self-discipline, focus is very, very important. Okay, last time I am explaining, boss. Here I mentioned 10 packages. Spring container goes to those 10 packages and their sub packages. Okay. Scans those packages. Listen carefully. Scans those packages. Searches for the classes that are having component. Take those classes and makes them as Spring Beans. What do you mean by makes them as Spring Beans? Loads the class, creates the object and manages the objects. Loads the classes, creates the objects and manages the objects. I am getting into very, very low level to explain very neatly. If you are a 10th class student, you can understand my statement if you correct to me. That much low level subject I am giving to you people. I hope you convinced, my dear. Number 2. Configure predefined classes as predefined Java classes as Spring Beans using what, guys? Using bean tags of what tags, guys? Bean tags of Spring Bean configurations. Why, sir? Why? We cannot add annotation by opening the source code of predefined classes. So only option that is left is what? Why? Only option that is left is what? Configuring them as what? Spring Beans using what, guys? Bean tag. Using bean tag. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay. One small question. Why we cannot configure predefined classes as Spring Beans using annotations? Answer. Okay. Because we cannot add annotations by opening the source code of, right, boss? By opening the source code of predefined classes. Convinced, my dear? Perfectly convinced? This is second thumb rule. Super. Sumit MCA, can you focus, Ra Babu? Stop showing your talent. Can you focus? At the red component is for user-defined classes or predefined classes? Super, guys. Number 3. Okay. Create Spring's IOC container. Create Spring's IOC container. Okay. By passing Spring Bean configuration file as the input file. By passing Spring Bean configuration file as the input file. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Super. So just a minute. What I do is, for everything I will try to give some example, boss. Everything I will try to give some example. Yeah, first, this is what user-defined class, my dear. And I would like to configure it as a Spring Bean. So I can take this one as a first example here. Don't worry. I will cut short it. Yes, boss. Oh, still I have to reduce that. I will reduce. Yeah. User-defined class is configured as Spring Bean here. Super. Okay. So what should I do? In application context.xml. In application context.xml. What is this? Context colon component NENT scan base package is equal to com.nt.sbeans. Super. Is very difficult, boss. Very difficult, boss. This tag belongs to one library. That library is identified with some prefix. Don't worry about that. It's like a surname kind of thing. Is like surname or library name kind of thing. How classes belongs to packages, XML tags also belongs to some names, libraries. And every library is identified with some word. And that word we are writing here. So that's why don't give damn importance to this. Your focus should be on this. Okay. Sir, I don't give S-beans. I will give only com.nt. Any problem for you? No problem. Why? When you give one package, not only it will scan that package, it also scans sub packages, right? Sir, I have multiple packages to give. You can give comma separated list of values. You can give comma separated list of values. But right now we have only one package. That package is mentioned. Cool. Next one, guys. Next one. Bean ID is equal to DT. Class is equal to java.util.time. Java.util.date. Tell me, is it predefined class or user-defined class? Date is a predefined class. So what should I use? Bean tag. What should I use, my dear? Bean tag. Super na boss. Easy na boss. Come on. No, I want to configure one more class as Spring Bean. One more class as Spring Bean, which is again predefined class. How to configure? One more bean tag. Like this, any number of bean tags we can add. Like this, any number of bean tags we can add, boss. Happily, we can add any number of bean tags. Clear, boss? Third one, create Spring IOC container by passing Spring Bean configuration file as the input file. Tell me, guys. Okay. Class path XML application context CTX is equal to new class path XML application context of some location. What is this? Application context dot x of some location application context dot x. Clear, my dear? Got the clarity, boss? I hope you thoroughly enjoyed. If you don't mention component scanning, it won't scan any package. Why it will scan unnecessarily other packages? You have to mention component scan. Then only searching will start to recognize component annotation based classes as what? Spring Bean. Until that time, no searching will start. You must mention package name. Otherwise, no package will be automatically scanned. You don't believe. If you do these three things, okay, you are ready for XML plus annotation driven based application development. I hope you will remember all the three thumb rules. Easy to remember, guys. Okay, can I ask few questions on it? Super. Mohit Chavala. First two approaches are fulfilling configuration. Then why third one is used? Mohit, you are not bringing your common sense. If third one is not there, how container is created? Without container, who will create everything? Mohit asked a very interesting question. You want to know? Sir, when first two thumb rules are doing everything, what is need of third thumb rule? Array, all these things are the inputs given to Spring container. If Spring container is not created, how Spring container is ready and to do all these things? Who has to do taking component class as Spring Bean, loading class, creating object, managing object, Spring container. Who has to do bean tag based class as what? Spring Bean, Spring container. If that Spring container itself not created, okay, it's meaningless, right? It is something like this, boss. You washed the rice. You kept you added water to rice. Okay. Stir it very well. And you checked water level. You kept on the stove also, but you forgot to lighten the stove. You forgot to lighten the stove. So without container, nothing will happen, na boss. Hariharan, every predefined class we configure as Spring Bean in XML file. Like that, it will remember predefined classes as Spring Bean. Come on, come on. Hariharan, I hope you got your question. How does it know which predefined classes are used as Spring Beans in the application? And every predefined class we are configuring as Spring Bean here, right? Only those classes will become Spring Bean, not other classes. Super. So shall I shoot some questions? I have a predefined class. I want to make it as a Spring Bean in XML plus annotation driven configuration. What should I do? What should I do? Use bean tag. XML plus annotation driven means use bean tag. Naushad Ali, tell me why I should not scold you. Predefined class @component. This indicates how badly you are listening, class. Shameless fellow. Predefined class can we add @component? You should not ask who is Allah after reading entire Quran, right? Patti fellow. Okay, guys. Is there any need of component scanning while configuring predefined classes as Spring Beans? Is there any need of component scanning while configuring predefined classes as Spring Beans? I will scold, I will appreciate, I will pinch when, okay, it's the part and parcel of class conducting. Sorry, you are hurting me. I'm here to hurt you. I'm here to take work from you. I want you people to be alert in the classroom. Okay. Next, boss. I want to configure. Sir, why no scanning is required? We are mentioning every detail directly. What is need of scanning? You are giving class name, package name, everything clearly, right? Super. I want to configure user-defined class as Spring Bean. User-defined class as Spring Bean. What is recommended? Annotation or XML? Annotation. Which annotation? @component. Only @component is sufficient, or should I enable any component scanning? Yeah, definitely component scanning is also required. Because of component scanning only, the Spring container goes to those packages, searches for the classes having @component annotation, and makes those classes as Spring Bean by loading the classes, by creating the objects. By loading the classes and by creating the objects. Enjoyed my statement, guys? Super. Okay. What is the class we can use? What is the class we can use to create Spring container by passing Spring Bean configuration file as the input file? We have a lot of classes. Okay, yesterday I have introduced file system XML application context. Today I have introduced class path XML application context. Lot of classes are there, any class you can use. Okay, I hope until I introduce third approach, fourth approach of application development, I hope you will remember these 3 thumb rules, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Once you see first application practical, you'll enjoy it. Understanding my statement? Okay. Bharat Dasozu, this is just launched. Tomorrow we will see example on practical example using Eclipse. We will see practical example. This is just a thumb rule, my dear. Bharat Dasozu, still you don't have common sense how to attend the classes. Sorry to say that. Okay. In component scan, component means Spring Beans. In component scan means component means Spring Beans, right? Right. Come on, you can write only base package name or sub package names. No problem. Not an issue. At the rate component we write in XML file. Subham Kumar, why don't you jump into the drain after the class? Subham Kumar, wonderful statement, boss. Wonderful statement of the day. Please send your photograph. I will keep in Salarjin Museum. Is okay. At the rate component we write in XML file. Okay. Face of the day. Face of the day. In today's class, face of the day is what? Face of the batch is what? Face of the class is Subham Kumar. Muddy fellow. Aimless fellow. Why are you taking dinner, lunch, breakfast? Take only breakfast. At least your brain will start functioning. Shameless fellow. How much clearly I have written where? How much clearly I have written where? At the rate component where? Where? In Java file. And he is asking, he is saying that in XML file. Someone is requesting, please don't scold. And I am not scolding everyone. I am scolding those people who are asking question without listening class, right? Please, this is my style of conducting class. Okay. I am not scolding every question. I am not scolding every student. When I realize people are asking question without focus, when I realize people are asking without listening class properly, then only I will scold. For blunder mistakes only I will close. Understanding? Okay, can I take the privilege of scolding, boss? Can I take the privilege of scolding? Don't worry. After a few days, my scoldings looks like a blessings. Right. Simple reason, boss. If I don't scold, if I give normal answer, you will think that, okay, I asked a great question, that's why Sir has given answer. If I make you to realize that is not the way to think, if I make you to realize that is not the way to think, okay, by pinching your question, by scolding your attitude of thinking, definitely you remember my answer for a long time and you will be more alert towards listening class. Okay, and I know there are some people, why to take scolding, why to take appreciations, why to take pinches. I will not reply anything. I will just listen. I will not participate in any discussions. Sorry, boss. Sorry, boss. You are wasting your time with me. If you want such kind of classes, why don't you watch YouTube channel videos, Babu? We are attending live classes for interactive sessions or not. And if you don't participate in discussion, what's the use of attending live classes? Go and watch YouTube channels. There's a one-way communication will be there, right? Okay. Super, boss. Now listen carefully. Everyone might have received Google Classroom. Everyone might have received Google Classroom today. Received or not received? Along with the link, you might have got Google Classroom also, right? Yeah. Okay. Wait for a few minutes. I will keep entire material there. We'll keep entire material there. They send me Google. Ravi Singh, contact the admin. Swatik Dalat, contact the admin. The admin, while sending new link, you might have given even backup videos. You might have given even backup videos. Okay. Those are looking for backup videos, please contact the admin. Yeah. Today onwards, video recordings will not be there. Every day you have to attend the class. You have to participate in the discussions. You have to involve yourself. Then you will enjoy the subject. Right? Yeah. Google Classroom link. Contact the admin. Contact the admin. Yes, boss. Google Classroom. Join the class. They made me teacher. Huh? They made me teacher. I hope they made me teacher. Oh, I think they have given me privilege as a student only. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, tomorrow onwards I will share, boss. Because they have given me privilege as a student only. I'll talk to admin to send me request as a teacher. Okay, today also I'll keep the file. Ravi Singh, can you contact admin? Admin will have having all backup videos. Okay, today I'll upload in Facebook. Tomorrow I will do this. Every time they are making me student problem. Mr. That is for student. For faculty, separate entry will be. Yeah, Spring 616 core module. I think today's date is what? I think today's date is gone wrong. Okay, this is 13th, right? This is 13th. Let me save the content. Programmer, developer, both are same. Programmer, developer, both are same. Right, guys. Yeah, this is a link to get the classroom notes. This is the link to get the classroom notes. Don't send request to FB account. Try to become member of this group. Natraj Java Arena. Natraj Java Arena. Okay. Those who joined just today, for them, these are the faculty details, guys. Okay. Okay. Right, boss. Next, these are backup videos. These are backup videos. Yeah, this Saturday we have class. This Saturday we have class. Everyone, this Saturday we have class. Right, boss. And some people are asking for annotation fundamentals. Annotation fundamental videos. These are the videos of annotation fundamentals. Right, boss. Thank you, guys. We'll meet tomorrow and we will prepare background to launch our first application in tomorrow's class. Right, boss. Okay. Which support both Spring and Spring Boot application. Which support both Spring and Spring Boot application. Gangadhar, you go to Eclipse website, Babu, download any latest JWE flavor. Download any JWE flavor, right? Yeah, tomorrow onward coding starts, guys. Be ready with your Eclipse IDE. Be ready with your Eclipse IDE. Eclipse JWE flavor. Eclipse JWE flavor. Any latest version you can install. I'll show the links. I will give the links. Don't worry. Right, boss. Hariharan, I don't encourage STS. Eclipse with STS plugin we are going to use. Eclipse with STS plugin we are going to use. Thank you. Have a nice time. We'll meet tomorrow.